gonna stick like glue. Stick because
Ooh, I got a glue stick, a glue stick.
Basically, this is just a really chill conversation for us. We're not really doing any shows right now because of the whole situation. So we kind of want to reconnect with people that we've worked with, just to see kind of how they're doing, and just to kind of show our Hong Kong following what has been your story so far, and also like what are your plans for the future. Just giving people a bit more insight, beyond just watching the shows and the people behind the shows as well. So just to start it off, do you mind just updating us on, what's been going on lately, since Hong Kong last January? What have you guys been doing?
Since Hong Kong last January, since Hong Kong last January, he came home we went to Hong Kong that year, and then we went to Australia and New Zealand right after. Yeah. For I forgot the name of the festival. And then he came home, and then he immediately started working on Zoo. Yeah. So he made Zoo in about, I want to say, a month and a half. Oh wow. And yeah, he just kind of hit a groove as soon as he came home. It was kind of unexpected. Yeah. It was supposed to be a mixtape, but then the quality of the music just turned into an album. Right. It kind of took a life of its own. It just became a project. So he made Zoo as soon as he got back from Hong Kong and Australia. Yeah. And from there, we put that out. Put out a couple videos. We went on tour with Billie Eilish on her North American tour. We did a European tour for festivals and whatnot, like a Europe run. We did a tour in the States again. We did two tours in the summer. We did the first one was with Billie, and then the second one we did was the Grade A tour, which was with the Suicide Boys, City Morgue, Trash Talk, and guys like that. Yeah. What else? Then we went on a European full length tour, like a headline tour to promote Zoo. Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the most part. We've just been touring and releasing music. In January, he put out Blood In, Blood Out, which was like a mix of songs he kind of had that from Taboo sessions, from Zoo sessions, right? And even older that he liked that he didn't really know what to do with. So we just decided to put it all out as a mix online, for his fans, that love that sound. Yeah. And, it did well. And then we put out Unlocked, which was an EP that he worked on actually over the last summer, with Kenny Beats right after they did that Cave episode. Yeah. We got that out with a short film. And, we're here. Here we are.
Post Hong Kong until now, what have been some of the highlights in that stretch so far?
Jimmy Fallon I would definitely say was his first late night TV performance. That was pretty cool. Touring with Billie, I think, was another highlight. That was our first time playing arenas. Yeah. So that was at first it started off as a challenge for the whole team, but gradually we all kind of just you adjust. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but it was definitely an experience, and one that we won't forget.
Yeah. How was the arena performances? Did they know his songs?
Some show, I would say I think we did 18 shows or 28 shows, somewhere around there. I would say maybe only 3 nights were kind of just man, damn, this is rough. But the majority of them were okay, yeah, damn. There was one moment in Montreal when he did Sirens, and the whole arena just put up their lighters without him asking him. You know what I'm saying? Most artists are yeah, put your lighters up. Yeah. They just off instinct. They did it on their own. So the whole arena is lit up during Sirens, and I'm just we're all looking at each other oh shit, bro, it's crazy. Yeah. Ultimate in Ultimate in the United Center. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jordan with a Bulls play. Yeah. Crazy, bro. The energy was insane, man. That tour was it just proved to himself that he's ready for that. He can do arenas. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to rock a crowd with festivals, you know what I'm saying, festival crowds, but when there's seats at these arenas, so they can choose to sit down or not, but everyone was on their feet. And you got to take in mind that it's a bunch of little girls too. Yeah. And they're moshing, you know what I'm saying, and hands up in the air, same way, because, Billie has that energy too.
Ever since your performance in Hong Kong, Denzel's performance in Hong Kong, everybody who's been to that show has been that's like one of the greatest shows I've ever been to in my life.
Damn. Yeah, that's normally what happens too, which is crazy. I think a lot of his fans, he's like a touring artist, so a lot of his fans and people that he, like, I guess he picks up fans at festivals for sure, because there's a lot of people that, you know, might not have heard of him, but they come to his set to check him out and then they leave fans. It's like the performance just wins you over automatically.
Did you have any like kind of cool memories while performing in Hong Kong? You know,
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I still have that basketball. Thank you.
oh yeah.
Yeah, these guys, for those of you watching, so my DJ and I, Posh, shout out to Posh, we had this little, you know, feud going on during the tour. Like, yo, we're gonna play one-on-one basketball.
Yeah.
He was just talking so much smack, like, all right, but we ain't got no ball though, you know, just making all type of excuses. And he ended up getting a ball thanks to these guys. These guys just, I was flying with it everywhere. TSA was looking at me crazy. Every time I come on the plane, it's like, bro, you're gonna have to flatten that. I had to flatten and pump it back up at every city I got to on that. Yeah, thank you for the ball. Hong Kong was great, man. You guys were amazing as far as like, you know, being able to show us the city. I remember we went to go see that that big Buddha statue. Yeah. That shit was dope. And also we went to lunch. The food was great. It was vegan.
Yeah.
I'm not vegan anymore. But
How long did you stay vegan for?
Shit. I think about a year.
Oh, wow, that's good.
About a year, yeah. I started eating meat again in January, but not like pork or red meat, just like fish and chicken.
Okay. Yeah. How was the show for you guys? You know, like
the show was great.
Yeah,
the show was great. Yeah, the energy was through the roof. I mean, I don't think Denzel was worried about it. It was his first time performing in Hong Kong, but I think he just had he was just a little on the fence, only because our first time coming to China, I think we played Shanghai.
Yeah.
The Shanghai show went a little weird. But I just had to explain to him, like, you know, like, it's a different culture. Maybe, like, you know, like in Shanghai, they don't like go crazy. It's probably more reserved. 'Cause, like, they were clapping. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like it was just more reserved and more relaxed or whatever. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that they weren't having fun. It's just, but he feeds off the energy.
Yeah.
So he doesn't like understand that sometimes or whatever. You know, he just wants every show to go like nuts and people hanging from the ceiling. But sometimes it's not all about that. You know what I'm saying? Some people might not have known who you were in the crowd, and they're just observing and they're just like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're looking at art.
That was like, to be honest, like one of the highest energy shows we've done as well. Like, you know, the crowd was crazy and people like mosh pitting and stuff. You know, it's something that you don't really see in Hong Kong a lot. So like, thanks to you guys as well. Yeah. Like that was a crazy show.
It was like shortly after the Hong Kong performance, he did the Rage Against the Machine cover.
Yeah, that was all a part of the same tour. So as soon as we left Hong Kong, we went to New Zealand, and then we went to Australia, and we filmed that. So that was all at the same run. Yeah. That was maybe like a week or two later after we saw y'all.
What's like his musical direction like as of late?
I mean, I think he's still finding it. He has a bunch of ideas where he wants to take the next album, but I don't see it being like solely just rock influence, you know? I think the thing with him is I think people like to typecast him whenever he does something really well, and then he doesn't like being put in a box, so he'll just go completely left and do something else.
Yeah.
So like it's a thing that it's one of his strengths and it's something that he's good at, but he's always trying to evolve and he's always going to experiment. So it's not, you don't expect to hear the same album twice. That's all I would say.
You know, after the show in Hong Kong, we're seeing his like streaming numbers in Hong Kong go up as well. He more than doubled his following on some of the local streaming sites. He's definitely getting a pretty good following here now.
Yeah, I think that goes with consistency. Just because he dropped Taboo in July 2018, and then followed up with Zoo in May 2019. That's like less than a year. That's 2 albums in 1 year technically. And then hit people in the head with Blood In, Blood Out January 2019, and then Unlocked in February 2019.
Yeah.
2020, I'm sorry.
It's like a lot of albums in a short time.
Yeah, and then we don't really look at Unlocked and Blood In, Blood Out as albums. They're kind of just like, because Unlocked was all freestyle.
Right, yeah.
And then Blood In, Blood Out was all like old records, so you just kind of pieced together and made something out of.
Right.
And Zoo was also all freestyle. That was all freestyle. He didn't really write.
Yeah.
So I think the next thing that we do, he's gonna take his time with.
Yeah.
That'll be like the next album.
So I'm assuming like now that everyone's on lockdown, he's pretty much in album mode.
Yeah, no. Right now he's more focused on a comic book that he's working on. So
Yeah, I he was working on that like when he was here as well. Yeah,
he's been working on his graphic novel and he's been working on a comic.
Nice.
So he's just writing and drawing for the most part.
Okay.
With him, everything is organic. It just has to come to him naturally. I think if he goes to the studio and try to force it, it's not going to come out as good as him having fun with it. You know what I'm saying? He has to have fun with it in order for it to feel good and him to want to do it. So he's just not. I don't think he's in that zone necessarily right now. Like he's recorded. He sent me a couple ideas, but we're not like it's not something that we're pushing. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's on his own time. It'll come to him. It's better when it's organic.
Yeah. XXL promotion run you guys had, and he was drawing some. And like all the fans were just like, Denzel's like, I didn't know he could draw and stuff. So does he have plans like to actually publish the comic stuff that he's doing right now? Yeah,
he does.
Okay.
But it's all in the developing stages. He's still writing the storyline and drawing characters.
For everyone who's like watching this podcast as well, I just want to kind of dive into how you started, like what your story was coming up to, like going into music. How did you start and all of that?
I think my entry into music started probably with my dad. He had a lot of friends in the Jamaican community. Yeah. So like when I was a kid, he would always like take me like to stage shows, like concerts. Right. And I would always be backstage because he either knew the promoter or knew the artist. So I think seeing that and my love for music, I think my love for music stemmed from that. And then as I got older, I got into rap, and it just became more rap focused. Yeah. So I was like always that kid in the back of the classroom, reading Double XL or Chorus or or the kid buying the albums, buying CDs, and reading the booklets and who executive produced it, who wrote what, you know what I'm saying, or rearranging albums, making mixes. Like when CD burners came out, everyone had a CD burner, and just making my own mixes and rearranging albums, for fun.
Yeah.
So, all those things, I think helped shape that. And then I met a guy, one of my good friends, in high school, Justin, and he started rapping. He was rapping, but he wasn't like taking it serious, but he was really good. Yeah. So I decided to help him. I didn't really know what I was doing was considered managing, so I was just trying to help my friend. Yeah. So, and really just put on for Miami because at the time nobody was really taking Miami's underground or just rap period seriously.
Right.
It was all about LA, Pac Div and stuff like that, or New York.
Right.
So during that like blog era, we were just kind of trying to break into like trying to get on like Two Dope Boys. Like if you got on Two Dope Boys, you made it at that time, at that point in time. So we were trying to, get on Two Dope Boys, get some shows set up at South by Southwest, A3C, CMJ, just like back in the days when all that stuff was popping. And I was just running with them for a couple of years, and we had some wins, we had some losses. He was gaining some traction, but he took a step back from music to focus on family.
Right.
So a couple of my OGs sat me down and were just like, yo, you're doing all these things for people, and what are you doing for yourself necessarily?
Right.
And I wasn't really looking at it for like financial gain. I looked at it like if my man wins, then we all win. And I wasn't really sure what my position was going to be because I was just like doing it to do it.
Right.
Just out of the love and the strength. Then he was like, yo, you need to find an artist and find your own, artist to manage and, invest in. Right. So I went to CMJ, I want to say 2011.
Right.
I think Space Ghost Perp had just started bubbling or whatever, like maybe like July 2011. And so I went up there. One of my partners booked Rocky for a show 2011 for CMJ. This is like when Pesos first came out. The Santos show was maybe like 2 weeks after this or before this. I'm not sure. It was around that era though.
Yeah.
And Rocky was the headline of the show. So Rocky came out. They're performing Purpose on stage with Rocky. I threw up Carol City, which is, you know, this symbol, CC, whatever. In the crowd, he saw it, and he was like, oh shit, somebody from Miami's here or whatever. So he pulled me up into the crowd while they were performing or whatever. So he took me backstage afterwards. We're talking. We became cool. It was me and Uncle Luke. He took us backstage. We were talking. We became cool. Shortly after that, I went back to Miami. And then I guess, well, from what he told us, he just said he came home. But I can't get into like the specifics of what actually happened between them. Yeah. But he came back to Miami like a couple of days later, like right after CMJ, because something happened between like, you know, the camps or whatever. And he started Raider Clan. Raider Clan had already been a thing, but he took it serious. So he started like recruiting people. He recruited Denzel. He recruited Simi. This dude, Young Renegade, and I think it stopped there from like the Miami chapter. Yeah, at that time. Mm-hmm. And then you know, I started chilling with Metro Zoo and Lofty and those guys, and I met Denzel through Perk.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Perk tweeted one of Denzel's links, and I heard the song, and I was just like, "Yo, this is crazy." I'm like, "Yo, I need to like, you know, tap in with this dude. I need to show him around the Miami music scene because I'd already been doing it for a couple of years, so I already like, knew all the DJs, and you know, I was tapped in like in the city, like locally." So I was like, yo, I need to bring them to our world or whatever and try to expand, like, you know what I'm saying, like get them known in the city. Yeah. So I reached out. I was like, his name was Denzel Aquarius Killer Curry. Mm-hmm. So I typed in his name on Facebook. Like, I wonder if it'll pop up, you know, because his Facebook Messenger was popping back then. Yeah. And I found his page. So I messaged him. I'm like, yo, whatever, da-da-da. What's up? How you doing? Da-da. So we talked on, like, line for, like, maybe the first month. Became cool there. And then I was like, yo, there's a party or whatever Friday night. Pull up or whatever. Like, you know, it was this local party that was, like, real popping within the scene. It was called Peach Fuzz. Yeah. And he was like, I got curfew. I'm just like, curfew? What is this dude talking about? He's like, yeah, man, I'm 16. I'm like, what? So I felt like Chris Hansen to Catch a Predator. I'm just like, dude, this dude is 16. Like, he was rapping like a grown man. I didn't know he was a kid. So I was just like, oh, that's crazy. And then, like, I think Raider Clan had a show, the first Raider Clan show in Miami in January 2012. And I met him there, and we became cool there. So I would pick him up from school, take him to the studio. He just needed rides or whatever, and help him out with stuff or whatever. And then he just asked me to manage him one day because people were hitting him with features. People were like, just like, it was an overload. He was like 17, 16. He didn't really know what, you know what I'm saying, to do. And then he decided, like, yo, I want you to manage me, and I want to make an album. He didn't want to do lo-fi anymore. He was just like, I need to do something that's going to separate myself from everything else. So me, him, and Pashanot from Metro Zoo and Ronnie J sat down, and then we created Nostalgia 64.
What's been the ups and downs? What's been the highs and lows of like your journey so far? Like, do you have any like kind of specific events you can share with us or anything?
I mean, I guess the ups is that we're still here after all these years. I mean, it'll be 10 years next year. Yeah. And each year he's only getting bigger. So I like the slow grind because it's just he's a career artist. Right. I'm glad it didn't happen overnight. There's times that we could have took major label deals and it probably wouldn't have went in our favor. I like the situation that he's in now, and you know the progress that he's made over the years. Yeah. So and it's the beautiful thing about it is he's still young. So he's like he's 20. He's 25 now. He just turned 25 last month. So I think he's in a great place to be, you know, that guy.
Yeah, I'm seeing this come from like nothing to how the whole scene has like influenced the whole world in terms of the sound, the producers, the rappers and stuff. Like, is it hella fulfilling for you, or do you have any insight on like how it feels to see that type of influence?
I think it's cool. I try not to get caught up in it too much because you can't get stuck in the past. You kind of just got to keep focusing and moving forward. Because if every interview or every, I notice this a lot with interviews. Like they try to like, oh, the pioneer of SoundCloud rap. Da, da, da. I'm like, that's cool and all, but like, yo, we got a new project out. Let's focus on the new shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop reverting. Oh, Extentation. So tell us about X. Like, bro, all right, yeah, that's cool, RIP X, but we got some new shit out. We're here to talk about it. It's like they try to dance around like older stuff and, for clickbait.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So it's cool, but I think we're just focused on moving towards the future.
Yeah.
And, the past is the past, and we respect the past, and we love the past, and we love where we came from. But, it's on to bigger and better.
Yeah.
You can't keep looking back.
So far, like, did you always like knew that you wanted to be in like this capacity in music, or like, did you also have like kind of other aspirations as well, like, other?
I wanted to be in music always. I always wanted to be in music. At first, I wanted to be a music journalist, so I wanted to get like a job at XXL. Or a blog, start a blog or something along those lines.
Yeah.
I wanted to write. And then it was either that or I wanted to be an A&R.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think my partner kind of sat me down and was kind of like, this was a long time ago too. This was like 2012. He was just kind of like, what we're doing is already A&R.
Yeah.
Management is kind of like the label at this point. We come up with the marketing. We get the beats. We do everything or whatever. The label just pays for it. So we're kind of just like our own like label. But some labels actually like step in and like help for real. They're not just like cutting checks. Like shout out to Loma Vista. They do their thing, and I'm happy with that. We're with them. They're heavily involved. But I don't have any aspirations to be an A&R anymore. I like management.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at first I wanted to be an A&R or a music journalist. But yeah, the goal was always music.
Have there been any like kind of interesting stories you can share with us? All that kind of touring you guys have been doing so far.
I'm trying to think off the top of the head. There's so much happens on the road.
Yeah.
Off the top of the head, no, I can't think of like one specific moment. But I've been touring with him since the beginning.
Yeah.
All his shows are crazy, bro. I can't really like. I guess the first time we did Coachella.
Yeah.
That was like a milestone for us because that was probably the biggest crowd he had ever played, and we did weekend one, and everyone was saying that he had one of the best sets. And that's coming from someone with no radio play, no like TV, no videos on TV, or what I'm saying, no like huge songs at the moment, or whatever. But his crowd was like, I think we did. I forgot the Mojave tent, or I forgot what tent it was, but it was like filled from front to back. We had a late slot. It was 11 p.m. We went on right after Travis.
Yeah.
And everyone was talking about his set the whole week or whatever, and comparing him to a lot of other rappers and saying that his set blew them out of the water, to where those rappers came to watch our set the following weekend. I'm not going to say names.
Oh,
yeah. I think they were upset.
Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty crazy and inspiring how he's like the underdog story that everyone would be cheering for.
Yeah, no, it's a slow grind.
Yeah,
it's just you got to think long term. I think everything we've done from the beginning to now has been about longevity. From the way we release albums, to the touring and building his touring, everything, the structure of his deal, everything is just based on longevity and making sure he's good 10 years, 30 years from now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, like, I guess this like kind of brings us to the last part, like of this podcast with this whole kind of lockdown situation. Like, what are your plans for the rest of 2020 so far?
We still have a fall tour set up for the fall, and we have a festival run set up for the fall as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's business as usual. I think you can't stop because of what's going on. I think at some point he's going to start working on music for the next album.
Yeah,
and we'll still be touring. I can't, I don't want to give away any other surprises outside of that. But we'll do some live streaming stuff.
All right. Yeah, but one last question for you, man. How do you think the Miami Heat's gonna do this year? If they
next year? Because hopefully we get Giannis.
Oh yeah, that's big. That's big.
Crazy. Hopefully we get Giannis.
Oh, Jimmy and Giannis, that's gonna be crazy.
Mm-hmm. And Bam.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, man. Thank you so much. Yeah,
it's good seeing you again, man.
Likewise, bro.
Hopefully, we'll see you in Asia soon.
Yeah, God willing. Hopefully.
All right. See you, man.
Ooh, I got a glue stick.